Hi, everyone. How are you today? Um, I'm here to talk a little bit about, I just realized my camera is a little off kilter, so I'm going to move that. A little bit about creating change in your writing and responsibility for creating that change, and it comes from you, right? Um, if we want to make change, if we're discouraged or disappointed, get frustrated, it's really easy to kind of look to others for, please, it's somebody else's fault, or it's I'm struggling, I keep struggling, why am I keep struggling, and looking, you know, for answers and solutions from others. So first, it's really important that we don't look for others for answers and solutions, that we look for others for support, that we look for others for knowledge. But then it's up to us to really use that and make changes with it. And if we're struggling, sometimes it's great to just pause and think, okay, where am I struggling? What's going on? What are some changes I need to make? It's really easy to get into the habit of looking to someone else to fix it for you. And again, like I said, others give you knowledge and stuff, but you then need to take your knowledge that you're learning, apply it, see where where you need to improve, look to fix things, not think, oh, it's my saddle's wrong, or my horse isn't right, or I need a new instructor. Now, all of those things may be possible. Sometimes it is true. There's a problem with your horse, a soundness problem, or you need a new saddle. I mean, all those things are possible. But when all else is taken care of and you're still struggling, then it's like, well, what is it I need to change with me? What is I need to change with how I'm approaching my riding? What is it I need to change in my mindset? Where am I struggling? What do I need to fix? So, again, most often that change can be made within ourselves. It's not outward somewhere. It's like, am I approaching something with a negative mindset? Do I need to shift my perspective? Do I get really frustrated when things happen and just get in a cycle of frustration and can't improve because I'm so caught up in that cycle of getting upset with not doing well? So really thinking about what's going on, and is there a cycle that's happening? Is there a habit loop? Am I constantly getting stuck in the same ways, in the same places? And is it frustration? And, is it wanting to do things perfectly and struggling when you make mistakes? Could it be, some other thing that's within us with our mindset, our limiting beliefs, that's blocking our improvement? And then taking that responsibility to put the work in, both in mindset and in physical, whatever you're working on in your position or with your horse, to saying, well, this is going to take time. It's a process, not to get caught up in hurried outcomes, and, really, looking to others for guidance and support, but then putting your knowledge that you have and applying it and thinking, oh, be curious, like, what went wrong here? What can I do differently? Gee, I'm not getting, say, a canter transition. I often find riders will struggle with canter transitions. I'm not getting the canter transition. So stopping and really breaking apart how a canter transition happens. And then think, where is it that I'm missing a step? Where is it that something's not connecting? So therefore my horse isn't able to canter. Not that my horse doesn't want to canter, or they're too lazy, or XYZ, whatever it may be. But where is it in the process, the steps, that I'm missing something, that I'm maybe doing this right, but then I'm not doing this right? And if you're unsure as to what all those steps are, that's where your instructor can help you, right? But then it's your responsibility to work hard to improve all those steps. So if there's a gap somewheres that maybe you're not getting your horse balanced enough before you apply the aid for the canter, then you need to go back and work on that part. And it's going to take some diligence and take some responsibility on your part to work on that. And then it'll get better. And then when you take that responsibility and apply it and learn, you're going to, do better in the long run. So really developing a curious and open mind about, what's going on with your riding, with your position, with your mindset, like really not a judgmental mind, but a curious and open mind saying, what's happening here? Where are some things, is there a block? And being curious, like, well, if my canter's, again, using the canter, if my canter's not working, then I need to know more about how the canter works, how the canter process, how you get the transition, what are the different steps, like I said earlier, figure it out, and then apply it again. Same thing, just be curious, be curious about, I'm missing a distance at a jump, oh, it's because the distance didn't come up right. Well, probably not. It's more like, yes, the distance didn't come up right, but it happened in the turn because you didn't have a good enough canter, or you were pulling on the reins or whatever. So understanding that whole process that gets you the distance to the jump that you want. So being curious about that and looking for your instructor to help you understand it. But then being really curious about understanding it and connecting it and really making it something in your mind that you understand. You're not just hearing it and thinking, oh, now I'm going to, ride and make it happen. But you're really understanding it. You're applying it. You're seeing where I didn't, I pulled on the reins too much in the turn. Oh, and now that's what got me the distance. Now I get it. Now I can go back and try to change that. And then understanding that your habits that you have take time to fix. So being open-minded and calm and gentle with yourself and trying to fix these things, but knowing that the responsibility really is in you. No one else can fix it for you, really. And it's your choice to say, oh, I need to be a little vulnerable and say, yep, I am making a mistake there. It's not somebody else's fault. Yep, that's a mistake I need to work on, And the mistakes aren't looking at them as they're not bad. They're just a way of learning. And this whole approach will help you retain and understand what you have learned, so that when you hear someone tell you what went wrong, you hear it and you go, yeah, okay. But when you actually analyze and get curious and feel what went wrong with the help of someone else explaining to you the process, and then you go through and notice where in the process something fell apart, then you can feel that, and you can feel when it is correct. And that goes into your memory, goes into your mental memory, your muscle memory, and you can then go back and fix it, and then go back and replicate it better. And it becomes part of your process. And instead of just part of a bunch of knowledge that's been given to you, you've actually applied it and failed, and applied it and succeeded, and understand the difference and notice when the failure, the mistake is starting to happen, and can fix it sooner. And just being really responsible for your learning and your education, and looking to others for guidance, not looking to them to solve all the problems for you, saying, I'm in the game to learn, to get better, to find solutions for what's going on. And I'm looking to my instructors and others to help guide me, teach me. But I am fully taking the responsibility for my learning and my progress and my growth by, taking responsibility when it doesn't work. No judgment, just learning from it, moving on. So really look to taking that on, because I think that's one of the biggest struggles I find with riders is they get so caught up in making mistakes that it's really hard to say, yeah, it's something I did, but I can change it, I can work on it, and I can move forward. If they make the mistake, they spend so much time getting frustrated and beating themselves up for it. So maybe they are kind of taking responsibility for the mistake, but they can't get past it. Instead of just saying, okay, where can I learn from this? I'm responsible for learning and improving this. My instructor can't fix it for me, and they can give me help, but I'm the one who has to put it together and really open my mind to being curious and noticing where things are working, where they're not, and learning that way. So really think about that. Taking that responsibility, knowing that, and I have to remind myself, not in anything I do, it's like, oh, it's not someone else's fault that, this didn't get done in my business. It's my responsibility to get things done and my responsibility to apply things. And, ooh, that didn't work. What am I going to learn from it? Okay, that's great. I learned this. This didn't work. This did work. And then you put it all together and take the things that work, keep adding them together, and eventually you get better at what you're doing. And it small steps. It doesn't happen all at once, but keep working on that responsibility. Keep working on being open-minded and really wanting to grow and learn. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please contact me if you want any further help, and at Lisa at mindfulequestrian.com, and have a wonderful day.